This is a recipe that's done for kids that can't do any grains, so it's a specific carbohydrate recipe. And it was originally, like I said, they do a chicken or they do a chicken or a squash. So I put them together and made a chicken squash, which I think is a pretty good combo with a little bit of sweet and then the chicken. It sounds weird. It sounds like, how could that possibly taste good? But everybody I've ever had try it is always pleasantly surprised that they're actually pretty good. So what you do is you take equal parts squash and chicken that's already been cooked. So yesterday we roasted up some butternut squash, and we also boiled, in this case, some chicken. Now, you don't have to go through all the steps of cooking all of these things. If you're going to have roasted chicken and squash for dinner, set some of that aside and you can use it for the pancakes. So you don't have to prep all this special. If you're going to eat those for dinner, by all means make the most of it and then use the leftovers. I'm going to do a whole cup of each. So can you get me 2 more eggs? That would be great.
Did you cook the butternut squash with oil?
We did. We roasted it with some oil. Again, you can do anything you want, but I roasted it rather than boiling it or steaming it just because it's less wet. So the texture, there's a little less moisture in the thing. Great. Yes, peel. So you can do one of 2 things. You can peel it ahead of time, chop it up and roast it, but for simplicity, if you just cut it in half, put it upside down on a baking dish with some water and cook it that way, that's probably the fastest and easiest way to do it. So all you do is you get a cup of each of them, and there's quite a few eggs in here, so we're going to put some salt, by the way.
What about if you can do eggs?
If you can't do eggs, one of my clients did do this recipe without eggs. She told me she used pear puree, but I haven't been brave enough to do it yet because I hadn't had success with my other egg-free, and I just thought perfect this before going on to that. So you can, I think, and yeah, it depends. If you're not SCD, you could probably use the flaxseed and water.
We're allergic to flaxseed as well.
Yeah, so if you're allergic to flaxseed or you are SCD, you can't use flaxseed. So I don't exactly, I haven't exactly made it to give you my own personal experience, but one of my clients did say they were able to do it. So let me know if you can figure it out.
If you make this a little bit smaller, like if you made this into meatballs instead of pancakes,
Yep.
and added a little bit of coconut flour, because that'll absorb some of the moisture too, so it'll help keep it together.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually. So if you want to put some flour in it or something like that, you might be able to find a way to make it stickier, or that might work with the vegetable latkes too, actually. So all I'm going to do is I put everything in the blender, and then I'm just going to blend it up. Okay, oops. And now you're going to see what we have is a batter that kind of is, it's kind of thick, kind of runny, a little bit in the middle there. And believe it or not, we're just going to cook that into pancakes. We're going to put it in, we're going to put oil in the pan, put a little dollop on the pan, maybe spread it out a little bit. Let it kind of cook a little bit so it gets a little firmness to it before you flip it over. And that's all there is to it. They cook pretty quickly, so you can get a sense. Everything's cooked with the exception of the eggs. So you just have to cook it long enough to, cook it all the way through. So it's pretty fast and easy.
Have you ever cooked with lard?
I have cooked with lard. In fact, I rendered my own lard one time. I was very excited about that. Yeah, you can definitely cook with lard. It does impart definitely a little bit of a strong flavor to it, so it just depends what you like. Do you like the more coconutty flavor? Do you prefer the lard flavor? But I think it is a good thing to cook with. They're going to cook up the squash pancakes so that we can see those and try those. But I'm going to go on a little bit.